Hello, Scorpio. Thank you so much, as always, you guys, for being here. And a very, very happy birthday to all of you. Okay, Scorpio, so looking at your third week of November, you pulled rebellion, change, and forgetting oneself. Very simply, this is you rebelling against a situation where you may have lost yourself. And you're realizing the changes that it's created within you. Now, it's one thing to very simply say that, yeah, changes may need to be made. But this is more about how you're responding to the changes you've experienced. And that is coming in the form of revolting against what is not you anymore. And there's like this realization that you've been lost in something. So I want to talk about forgetting oneself. The quote for this says, "Time as an eternal present, not fleeting but locked. No progress is no regress either." So it's like being locked in place because of some kind of change that has taken place. This one talks about how this isn't a moment of rest. It's about completely jumping into the dark. So somewhere along the way here, you may have forgotten a part of yourself that can't be silenced. It's coming up in a way where you're no longer wanting to go along with what is not you, right? So, and the sentence for this says, "Eating the lotus flower, numbing our identity to go by the sound of music that was never ours." Now, change is talking about how you're responding to what has changed you. And again, there's this revolt and this rebellion that's happening. Like, I'm not going along with this anymore because it's not who I am. But change says you are always free to choose how to best handle change. But by seeking out the relevant wisdom it brings, you venture forward joyously with hope in your heart and a spring in your stride. So this to me is like, okay, I'm coming out of the dark now. I see how this situation has changed me and I don't like it because it is not who I am. And you may have spent a period of time with something where you lost a sense of self. Again, it's going along with something that just isn't you. It's not true to you, right? And you may have been responding to the changes differently, but with a sense of awareness. I think that's where you see how the situation may have changed you if you have been neglecting, your own values, your own self-worth, things like that, right? But it doesn't surprise me. It very much has that kind of like Mars and Scorpio type feeling, right? Where it's like, oh, hell no, I'm done with this. This isn't me. This isn't what I want to be. And I've been lost in this situation for a moment, but I see how it's changed me, and now I can make a different choice. You're overall the fool wanting to wipe the slate clean, right? Wanting to experience a new path, a new version of you, a new life, right? And having faith in what you are getting involved in. But I think it's more so about having, faith in yourself. But this is, very much kind of a breaking point, I feel like, for some of you, where you're like, yep, I'm done with it. Wasn't me, didn't belong to me. If I never experienced this, I wouldn't have had those changes in the first place. And again, right, it's like that realization kind of kicks in and you're like, nope, I'm done. Time for a new me, new life, new path. Whatever challenges happen out of that, you'll deal with them as they come. But whatever you're currently dealing with, where you feel like you've lost a sense of who you are, this is like, yep, nope, done with it. In the past, the star is speaking of hope, right? So, hope and healing out of a past situation may be opening the door for you now to take a completely different path in life. But I like that the star is coming through. This is the kind of energy that you want to continue to bring through with you throughout what you are creating. That is a new you, a new version of your own life. But this is, hope and healing. Hope being restored, healing of a past situation. And being able to see, the bigger dream, the bigger goal, right? This is what happens after the dust of the tower has settled. In the present, the Six of Coins. So equal give and take here. Now, you may be receiving some kind of assistance, but for those of you who have been giving, you may be looking at where you have been lacking as well, which is why there's a need for that kind of like balance. But we'll see here, right? Like what you invest into is what you're going to get out of it. But I kind of feel like this is some kind of assistance that may be coming through because we're talking about a completely new situation for you. But we'll see here. And this may be where hope is still coming through, right? Like changing your vision of the future may lead to the assistance that you need in the present moment in order for you to experience a new life. Oh boy. Yes, very good. So, and it's through that this new beginning is starting to manifest, the Ace of Cups, right? This is what you want. If you have been through difficult situations, looking at the Star as the past, and then moving into the Ace of Cups in future conditions, your ability to find emotional balance and finding hope again out of painful situations, maybe opening the door to this like helping hand, I feel like that may be coming through and creating an entirely new beginning for you, right? A new you, new version of you. But this is, you feeling happy again. And it's just the beginning of this. And I am looking at the Fool, and I'm looking at you fully intent on experiencing this rather than having to heal from the past, right? We're done with that now. But having your cup filled up again. So all of this is beautiful. And looking at that with your oracle cards, it would make sense that as soon as you realize how you have responded to the changes, again, if you feel like you've lost a part of yourself, this kind of direction is exactly where you need to be. And I think you know that because you've probably been in the dark for a little bit too long, right? Your best path to follow, the Seven of Cups. Here's what I want to say with this. Because immediately I kind of get the feeling of all of these different options and emotional confusion and, kind of fantasizing about what could be and this and that and the other. Don't get caught up with a bunch of different things when the only thing that matters to you is your happiness and emotional fulfillment and a new beginning for you. Right? Be aware of the other things that you may be looking at or concerned with. Because remember, with the Seven of Cups, right, the best option is you choosing yourself. And be aware of what you are willing to jump into, especially if it's coming from a place of emotional confusion. Keep your focus on this Ace of Cups. All the other things will work itself out, and don't waste time fantasizing about things, especially if it has to do with the past. Like, I feel like with the Star, so much work has been put into, healing what you've experienced. And there may be a lot of different things that are coming through, and I'm looking at the Six of Coins and like, finally, the universe is responding and here's the assistance that you need. But that may be coming in a lot of different forms. But as long as your attention is focused on the only new beginning that matters to you, then all of these other options and situations, no matter how you may feel about them, I think there may be clarity that kind of comes through. Where you understand, right? Like, yeah, things could be this way, but I'm not really feeling that and this and that and the other thing. The only thing I care about is my own well-being. Yeah, I'm telling you, in your environment, the Ten of Cups, I'm looking at you putting in some serious work to do some healing. assistance coming through from the universe in a form that is bringing you to that overall happiness. You know, what does your happily ever after look like? If you have been caught up with all these different ideas of how to make that happen, I think it's time for you to let that go and be aware of how you may have been completely going full force into things that are just not really manifesting for you. This is like freedom. It feels like I'm free now. And I'm finally getting the assistance that I need that is bringing me to a happy life, happy home, happy relationship, emotional fulfillment. This is where you want to be. And something may be coming through that's assisting that, right? Like I keep feeling like, and this could come in any form. It could be a person saying, hey, right? Like, I understand the pain that you've been through and I see the healing that you've done. I'd like to help you out. And that right there creates this, oh my God, I can be happy. I can actually experience that happily ever after. Whereas before it may have just been a fantasy. Wow, man. Your hopes and your fears, the devil. And here's what I want to say about this. And you know, going back to you forgetting yourself, forgetting who you are because of a situation that you needed to heal from, and looking at changes, right? This may be the realization that some negative patterns may have been developed because of that. And it's you needing to see how your fears of reattachment to negativity are going to affect your future, right? It's seeing that those changes need to be made. It's understanding how negative patterns and negative people, negative energy, whatever the devil is representing here, it's like fearing that it's going to get a hold of you again. And that's because this is what we know, right? There's comfort with the devil. Better the devil you know. But you're fearing it. So there's very much this self-awareness and understanding that these negative patterns have a tendency to possibly pull you back. And this could also be, you know, the negative thoughts of, I didn't think that this was ever possible. And that may be something that you need to be aware of. But whatever, you know, negative things are going on around you, instead of fearing it, this is where, you know, the rebellion kind of comes through, where you're facing it head on and you're going, you know what, I see it, I own it, but I know I can change it, right? And then coming out the Queen of Swords. And let me tell you that this is why I feel like with the star that you have had to create your own kind of healing out of a difficult situation where it may have changed you. And these negative things, these negative people, whatever the situation may be with the devil here, looking at the Queen of Swords coming out, right? Like it's the perfect response. Of course you're coming out handing people their fucking asses going, oh, really? Right? Like, where were you when I was going through this issue? And now you want to come in? Oh, hell no, right? Now, for some of you, that could be how you're feeling. And for others of you, you had such a lack of emotional support that you're aware of how that may have affected you emotionally and your ability to find overall happiness. And this is you now moving into a place where you're very aware of who cares for you, who doesn't, right? Again, with the Queen of Swords, we're talking about somebody who has become harsh because of a lack of emotional support. But this may be how, you know, you're better able to move forward. If you're looking at whatever assistance from the universe that is coming in the present moment and it leading you to this forever happily ever after, right? Like, this is where you see yourself. Happy, joy. No bullshit affecting you, right? If you're seeing that and you're seeing how this is kind of coming through and what you're investing into, it would make sense that a part of you that has to be really harsh is kind of coming out and going, no, I can't allow this anymore. But it feels like with the Queen of Swords, right? Like it's coming from a place of, I'm not going to hesitate to say what I need to say anymore, where there may have been a period of like silence. I don't know. That Queen of Swords to me has this feeling of, you want to talk stupid to me? Well, you're going to get it, right? Like I always feel like somebody's in trouble when she comes out. The Four of Cups, okay. The Seven of Coins, it causes a reevaluation. And then the Six of Cups. Okay, so with the Queen of Swords, right? Like this may be you making the choice here to finally stand up for yourself and get rid of, you know, the people and situations that, again, right? Like you're going to the tune that doesn't even belong to you. But it's like I'm cutting this out now. And a lack of emotional support may have left you in a place with the Four of Cups where there's this like, you know, I don't want to say woe is me because it's not the Five of Cups. It's like you're almost wore out by the lack of emotional support or the difficult emotions that you may have been through. You know, because again, there's this like healing of a past situation that turns you into a hard ass, which is, for me, really good to see, right? Especially with the devil being your hopes and fears. The Seven of Coins, we're talking about reevaluating what your emotions have been manifesting in your life and how it's showing up in your physical world, right? And you may be reevaluating what you decide to reach for, or, you know, what you choose to accept. But I feel like this is assistance coming through that is a direct response from the universe because of the work that you have done on you. But this is good with the Seven of Cups, because if this has been like I couldn't see this for myself, like I can fantasize about it, but I don't think that it's going to be reality. It didn't matter, because the work that you did is now bringing in that assistance that's going to lead you to this happily ever after. And it may make you reevaluate how you may have been looking at, you know, your own happiness. And then looking back at the Six of Cups, again, we're kind of going back to the process that you've been through that created the healing that was necessary for you, that you may have done on your own, without any help, without any assistance. Nobody is there with her coming out. This is all you. This is all you in what you were able to do for you. And this is now seeing how negative people and situations may have been confusing you in the decisions that you were making. But I'm telling you, something is coming through here. And I really feel like this kind of like wore out. I'm wore out with feeling bad. I'm just done with it. There's this blah feeling. I've had enough of it. And it causes you to go into this reevaluation. But that's because of something coming through, this assistance, I feel like, with the Six of Coins. Whew, man. But something about the past may be coming through too that kind of solidifies this, oh hell no, you're not coming back in. You know, and I've always said with the Queen of Swords, right, like the communication with her is like, don't play with me, just be honest. And if you decide to fuck with me and my emotions, right, like I won't hesitate to cut you. She does not give a shit about anybody's reputation. She's going to speak truth and nothing but the truth. And she does so with a venom tongue. And it may be something that you've been keeping silent. I keep getting that feeling like you're finally breaking out from that, right? But because it has to do with a new version of you, where this hope is coming through. And there may be this opportunity being handed to you. But again, it's because of the work that you do. Yeah, emerging. Clarity. With the Queen of Swords, yeah. and then stuck. So something within you is emerging that is giving you the clarity that shows you where you have been stuck. And it's about getting unstuck, right? Seeing where the resistance has been coming through. You know, what things have been handed to you before in the past that have created these devil situations, you know? Conclusions are within reach. Perfect. And then expect powerful change. There you go. If you have been dealing with a situation where you have forgotten who you are, it is coming back. And I really feel like that this is coming back in the form of assistance directly from the universe responding to you and the changes that you are now making.